Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Hope you're having a great start to your week. Jen Quam here from Little Tiny McBride, BC, bringing you episode 2 of Friendpreneurs. So if you are interested in how everyday people become extraordinary leaders, stick around. This is my weekly show where I invite really great leaders to hop on with me, people that I admire and know, and am really excited to share. So yeah, if you want to know how everyday people become great leaders, stick with us. I have a wonderful guest today. I'm just gonna see if she's on and I can invite her on. This is what happens on live broadcast. You just never know. Let's see if I can get her on. Okay, let's see. Says it's adding. Hope everyone's having a good Tuesday. The sun's finally shining here. Did it add her? Oh, let's try that again. Says that this is what happens on live video. You just never know if it's going to work or not. There she is. Yay. Hi, Robin.
Hi! I love it when technology works with us and not against us.
Yeah, you declined my first invitation. I'm like, oh, maybe she changed her mind.
No, it turned all sideways and weird, and so I had to go off and come back in, and here we are. We're normal now. Yeah.
Hey, so welcome to Friendpreneurs episode 2. I'm super excited to have you on.
Me too.
This is my friend Robin Oslin from Kimberley, BC. So another smallish town girl. So I actually met Robin, a friend, and she's someone that right away I felt a connection to. I felt inspired by, and I just love the way she leads and how positive she is and how she just decides that her life is going to be good. So I'm excited to have you on. So Robin,
I'm super excited to be here.
Yeah, so Robin and I are part of the same company. Anyone that watched episode 1, my first guest was part of the same company, and Robin isn't. I really want this to be about everyday people that I know and love turning their lives into what they want. So that's why Robin's on today. So Robin, I would love for you to tell people a little bit about your story, where you came from, and how you got to where you are now.
Oh, cool. Okay. Well, thank you. How much time do we have? I like to talk. We could be here a while, Jen. You know that.
Reader's Digest version would be stellar.
Right. Cole's notes. Cole's notes. Yeah, so like you said, I live in Kimberley, BC now. I am a born and raised BCite. Is that a thing? I don't know. I was born and raised in northern BC in Prince George, where you are moving, which is super cool. Bounced back and forth. Oh, sorry, notification. Bounced back and forth between BC and Alberta a number of times and finally landed back in the motherland in December in Kimberley from southern Alberta. I moved from just outside of Okotoks with my husband, Kevin. I have been an entrepreneur for the last 12 years. So business is not new for me at all. And I grew up in an entrepreneurial family. So it's kind of, I think it's in my DNA to just be my own boss and to do my own thing. I discovered network marketing, or I'll say network marketing discovered me really probably back in about 2009. And I was watching a friend and I was like, you know what, this is something that I need to do, but I was too afraid. I didn't dive in to anything for another 3 years because I thought, oh God, I don't know. But the reason that it appealed to me so much is more so not totally because of the business model, but because of what it provides and what the opportunities are. And the fact that anybody, any ordinary person can take a plan B and turn it into a plan A at the drop of a hat, right? Like whenever you needed to. And so for me, my background, my life, my story, my history is that I was the wife of the breadwinner. So my first husband, Trevor, was the breadwinner for our family. We used to joke that he paid more in tax in a year than I made. I was in the travel industry. So if anybody's in the travel industry,
yeah,
what's
sorry,
that?
That's a really good point. That's a really good analogy. I bet you a lot of people can relate to that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we would joke about it, but it's because it was true. And so he was the one who provided life for us financially. And then very suddenly and unexpectedly, he died in 2006 and left me literally holding the bag going, well, now what? Right? Like my travel industry salary is not going to sustain me at all. And so that was in 2006. By 2009, I kind of started exploring and looking and thinking, maybe I need to diversify and maybe I need to do something else. And then another 3 years of dragging my heels and letting fear hold me down. I finally dove in and then changed companies 3 years later in 2015 and ended up where I'm supposed to be. It takes us a long time sometimes, takes us a while to figure out like what's in here and listen to it and to listen to it. That was my issue. So that I guess is the Coles, like super Coles Notes version of how I got to being where I am today. So
You want
that's
to
me in a
share,
nutshell.
you want to share a little bit about because of your entrepreneurial lifestyle, like what that means for your everyday lifestyle, like how that might be different than people that are watching who have a 9 to 5 kind of thing going on?
Oh, yeah, and I've done the 9 to 5 even as an entrepreneur. So I have a chapter two, as I affectionately refer to him, and that is my husband Kevin, that I've been married to now for 10, 11 years.
Did you say that in
And
your vows?
pardon?
Say that in your
Sorry?
wedding vows? Did you say that in your
Yeah,
wedding vows? Chapter 2?
no, no. um, yeah, and so we owned a traditional style business that was 9 to 5, 8 to 5. We did a lot of business online. We worked from home. So, from the outside, people would think that we had nothing but freedom. But in actuality, I was chained to my laptop, chained to the phone. We couldn't take a holiday or take time off without having to respond to emails and all of that constantly. And so that was more than a 9 to 5. I didn't get to just leave it at the door because it literally was at home with me already. And so life back then was very, very different than what it is now. I still have a schedule. I still have a plan for my day. I'm still running a business, but it's on my terms, right? And it's my schedule. And so to give you kind of a couple of little snippets that were really fun, after we moved to Kimberley, we moved here in December. I got back on skis this year after 22 years of not skiing. So that was interesting. And I got 57 days in over the course of the season. I did a lot of work on the chairlift. I would pull out my phone, have it tethered to me. God forbid I drop it, my lifeline would be gone. But I would pull out my phone and work from my phone, respond to messages or do whatever, put up a social media post that I needed to, and just do those things in my 8-minute ride up the ski hill. Life now, living this business and having this style of business in my life allows me to go out and go mountain biking with my group of retired girlfriends at 10 o'clock in the morning. It allows me those freedoms that are so important to my soul, to feel like I'm living on purpose, to live the life that I was put on this planet to live. So it's given me huge amounts of freedom in that respect. And I'm grateful every day.
Pretty fun to have self-care be part of your everyday and not like a conscious, I have to make time to schedule and self-care, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that it's just so important. I saw on Facebook today that it's National Self-Care Day, I think.
It's also
Um,
Tequila Day. I'm not sure if those like coincide with some people or but anyway.
maybe, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, it is really, really neat how it's not like a scheduled thing like, oh, okay, well, I'm done work at 5 and then I can be home by this time and then I can go to that class at 7 o'clock. But if anything goes wrong, I cannot go and do that, right? It's like
Yeah,
i
totally.
just I just make it work.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. So do you want to share
Hmm.
your best success, or maybe a couple of them within your business?
Boy, you know, when you told me you were going to ask me this earlier, and I said, I'm going to have to sit and think on this, and then I ended up doing 2 calls, and here I am. No pre-thought.
I
We're
always,
just on the fly.
I always think go with your gut, right? Like, what's the first thing that comes to
Yeah.
your
Honestly, I think that my biggest triumph in my business so far has been the ability to move to Kimberley.
uh,
That's it. It's not about, some people get really, really hung up on the dollars and cents and the things that they can buy and the stuff that they can accumulate. And I've gone the complete opposite direction. I've tried to get rid of all of the things and all of the stuff and just focus on what's important and life and living life. And so the fact that we were able to bring this with us to Kimberley, you know, and I can work continuously and live in this beautiful place that I get to call home and live in the mountains again has definitely been the top triumph for me. That I'm not chained to a desk. I'm not chained to doing something that I don't believe in and that I don't love just for the sake of doing it anymore. Um, that has to be number one for me for sure. And, you know, that's not possible without building and without having some foundation underneath me, right? It's not like I just dove in yesterday and then was like, oh, I got all this time freedom. Like, you know, I still have to work for it, and I've had to pay my dues, and I'm still paying my dues because it's business. But I'm also rewarded every single day for the dues that I'm paying, if that makes sense. I think I'm getting more out of it than
yeah.
what I'm putting in.
Oh, that totally makes sense. I love the word triumph. I think that's a great word for it. And yeah,
Mhm.
right? Like it's not, we're talking about our lifestyle and our flexibility, which we all love. And I think many of us in this business and industry, that's one of the big reasons we do it. But absolutely, it's still a business that we still have to work at every day, right? Just because we're not on a storefront on Main Street still doesn't mean we're not working our bums off, right? What
Yeah,
about,
absolutely. And
no,
sorry,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna, I was gonna say, I work really hard at not using the term. I just said it. Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. I was gonna say, oh, okay, this is hilarious. Catching myself up. I work at not using the term that I work hard,
Oh, okay.
because I feel like saying that I work so hard has a really negative attachment to it, and it kind of brings us down, and I feel like it really paints this picture of like factory workers in the 50s.
Yeah.
Right, of like you got your lunch kit and you go in and you work so hard and you come out and you get a sandwich for lunch and that's it. I like, for me, I work very intentionally, and I put a lot of energy into what I'm doing and a lot of heart into what I'm doing. And that doesn't feel hard. I think that if it feels hard, you're doing something wrong. Like
Yeah.
you need to go on a, you know, shift the direction a little bit.
Yeah, I love that. Working intentionally, working with passion, all of those things. That's really good. Okay, what about
Mhm.
challenge? Like, let's be honest, we always want to be real with the people, right? Like, what are some challenges you've
Oh boy, sister.
had?
So many. So many. Um, you know, it's interesting. I just had this conversation with somebody as I was like trying to get on this. I was having this conversation with her about doing business um, in alignment with my values and who I am. I think has been my number one challenge in finding my own way, in finding how I can do my business, run my business, build success, and still be able to look at myself in the mirror and still sleep at night and feel really good about how I'm doing things. Um, it's no secret that within the sphere of network marketing and direct sales, there's a lot of spammers. a lot of spammers, and there's a lot of teaching and education that's being thrown out there by people who are leaders in their company because they've earned a lot of money, and they've earned the title of leader simply because of their financial status and not necessarily because they are a true leader. And so these people are handing down this these way of doing things, and it's essentially teaching people still in this day and age to go out and spam others and to not be authentic and to just be a hunter and get into these groups and just hunt people and add them to your Facebook and then add them to your group and don't have conversation with them, just like spam them. And so that message was just being kind of thrown at me, and through social media. Not like, I'm not saying that this was necessarily in my own company, I'm saying like across the board, this is what is being shown and being taught, and people are saying do it this way, not that way. And that just never sat well with me. Like it, and I fell into it for a while, and I became Spamela Anderson for a time, and it just never resonated with me. I never felt like I was being who I was meant to be. And so I would have to say that has been my biggest challenge, was finding my own way and feeling strong enough to stand on my own 2 feet, even if it felt like I was standing alone. And pioneering off on my own in this direction. Just learning that I am good enough, and I am strong enough, and I do know what I'm doing to do that, and then to try and help other people and show them that this is possible. It might be scary because you might feel like the only one, but you can do it this way. And so yeah, I would say that's by far been more challenging than any day in and day out sort of businessy stuff or anything. It's just been finding my way.
I will always stand with you. I agree, and I love the term. I just heard you say the term a couple weeks ago. Don't be Spamela Anderson. It's hilarious, but it's true, and it's icky, right? It's just icky. So I will always stand with you and be authentic. I think that's the biggest thing we can all do, and lead by example, right?
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about your product line and what you got going on, Robin?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is where I typically share more so why I chose the product line in the company that I'm with over what. And so I'll share a little bit, I guess, about kind of what it did for me and how I got to building a business out of it. When I was introduced to the product line that I'm with in 2015, I was a hot mess. You've seen the pictures, Jen. Like, you've seen my photos of where I was at in life. And it's not even about body shape and size. It was about the pain in my face and how I lived life. I lived in chronic pain for 9 years from herniating discs in my back. And I lived with hormonal imbalances so bad that I, honest to God, believed that I was bipolar. I was on my way to the doctor for testing for it was that. And I don't know if I had any right to think that, but I tracked my moods for a year, and it was on point every month, and it was so extreme with the manic ups and the depressive lows every month. And that was after 10 years of building up to that. So, and then I couldn't, because of all of that, my body would not release any weight. I was active. I knew how to eat well. I know about whole foods. I know about supplementing. And I couldn't get my body to do what I needed it to do. And along with daily anxiety, panic attacks, all of that, like, if you looked up hot mess on Wikipedia, my sad, sorry face would have been next to it. I was a disaster. But I was an incredible actress at the same time. And most people in my life, including my husband, had no idea how bad a shape I was really, truly in. So when a friend introduced me to this, she was all about the weight loss. And I honestly, that was so secondary for me. I just needed to be out of pain. And so it chose me, really. I was already with another company when I started on this. It was my Hail Mary for my own health. And my health changed so dramatically and so quickly that it was undeniable that I had to jump on board. And so really I laugh about this actually quite often, that I get to make a business out of something that's so simple. It's like we all know how to eat. We all know that we're supposed to eat well. We all know that there's certain supplements and things that we should have in our bodies. But we have a problem putting it all together. And so what we've done is just systemized it and made it really, really basic and really simple. Eat good food, put great supplements into your body. Boom, they come together in this beautiful explosion of health. So
Doesn't seem
that's
like
kind of the
doesn't seem like rocket science does it, but somehow it's hard at the same time,
it's
right?
the rocket science is in the simplicity.
Yeah.
It really is, because we overthink things so much and we want to overcomplicate things so much that it really truly is in the simplicity of it.
Robin, do you want to talk about, I don't know if you wanted to share this or not, but about your group with Simplifying Your Life? Is that something that you wanted to share?
Absolutely.
That's, well, I just thought of that. That's something that I'm part of with Robin and doing, and I don't know if you're kind of looking for more people, but maybe it's a really cool thing. So maybe if you want to talk about that for a second too.
Absolutely. I would love to see the community continue to grow and flourish for sure. I think that it's a really important topic for us to focus more on in our lives. And so I've created this community called Deliberately Simple Healthy Living. And really, it's just that. It's living deliberately every day and making choices every day to simplify your life, to remove the noise, to downsize, to take the focus off of the possessions and the stuff and put the focus on living, and how that translates into health, how we can build a healthy life by doing things in a really simple fashion. And so, yeah, I mean, things that we've talked about is how to simplify your meals for your family, especially, during busier times, how to simplify your exercise routine so that it's not so overcomplicated, um, how to organize your life better using specific apps to just keep yourself on point and simplify and get rid of the noise, because the noise is what drags us all down, right? And building a community of like-minded people around that. So that's kind of what it's about and where we're going. And like I said, thank you for bringing it up. I didn't even think of it. But I would love to see the community grow and grow and grow for sure.
So I would love for you, Robin, after we're done, to put that link in the comments. So if anyone is
Yeah.
willing to join, I see a lot of my friends on here watching, and it's really cool, this group that Robin's got going on. I'm in it. And yeah, it would be great, like she says, to watch the community grow. So she'll put that in the comments, and
I
anyone that's in.
will.
Thank you, Robin, so much. Thank you, everyone, for joining. So if you're joining, I would love to, I'm going to copy a little thing I watched Robin do this morning. Is if this is the first time you watch Friendpreneurs, I'd love for you to put the word new in the comments. And if you're watching the replay of this, or if it's you watched the Friendpreneurs before, please put the word replay. It's just interesting to me when people come on and when they watch and what you got out of it. I would love to hear that too. Thank you, Rob, so much. Like I say, you're someone that I love to follow, and I love your lifestyle and watching it, and it inspires me to be better. So I appreciate you coming on. I hope that you enjoyed it.
Oh, I so did. And thank you so much for Jen for asking me. I'm honored and humbled. So humbled that you would have thought enough of me to bring me on and have me share some of my life. So with your viewers, that's super, super cool. So thank you.
It's fun. I mean, Facebook, I know Facebook gets negative publicity out there, right? And it can be used in the wrong way, but for me, it's been such a positive platform, and I love it.
Mhm.
And Robin is someone that, yeah, like I said, we met through a mutual friend, and it's just been a friendship that's developed. And because without Facebook, that probably wouldn't have happened, right? So that's pretty cool. And then the more we get to know each other, the more we realize we kind of have communities in common and lifestyle choices in common, and it's pretty cool. So
Mhm.
yeah, this is the episode of Friendpreneurs. Thank you for everyone who watching. If you are one of my Friendpreneur friends and you would like to be featured, please shoot me a message. I do have a list going because I have some pretty amazing business friends out there that I would love to feature. But if I haven't got to yet, please shoot me a message. This is a weekly event, so I would love to feature you. Thanks again, Robin. I hope you have a lovely Tuesday. It's finally getting warm here, so. Okay,
Yeah.
thanks. We'll talk to you all later. Bye.
Bye.